Hey guys, Philosopher here, and today we're talking about how to prep for DD5. That's Dark Dimension 5. Now, I am releasing this video on Monday, August 2nd. You may be watching it on Tuesday, August 3rd. Today is the day, August 3rd, Tuesday is the day that the roadmap for the next 6 months is supposed to be released by Scopely. That's going to say a lot of things. One thing that I'm very confident that it's going to talk about is Dark Dimension 5. Now, one thing I will just say is, for all the complaints that people have about this game, and I have some myself, as you know, Dark Dimension is not one of them. This is actually quite a gift to us as players. It's actually, it's challenging content. It's fun content to build towards and master. And the rewards are awesome, right? You get, this was Dark Dimension 4, 9,800 orange pieces, 20, completed pieces. These are completed pieces that comprise many of these. Then, of course, a great character. And then on the second run, you get way more. So, look, the fantastic rewards. And this is an amazing catch-up mechanic for new players. In fact, I urge new players generally to go right for Dark Dimension 2, 3, and 4 as the first thing they do. So, how you approach DD5 depends on where you're at in the game. If you have not completed DD4, you really won't be doing anything new in the game. You're going to continue to focus on DD4. Focusing on Dark Dimension 2, 3, and 4 should be your focus if you have not done that yet. But if you have, how you prep for DD5 also depends on where you're at in the game. And here's what I mean. So Dark Dimension, getting ready for Dark Dimension 5 in my mind means a few things. First of all, I would not be working on any projects that are non-essential in terms of gear, gold, whatever, in terms of resource expenditure, while DD5 is right around the corner. Why is that? Well, first of all, the roadmap is going to give us lots and lots of information, and DD5 in particular is going to be a big deal that if you have already completed DD4, you're going to want to shoot for. Well, right now you don't know what characters you're going to want to upgrade. You're going to need a lot of resources to upgrade them. And so I would be very careful about expending resources right now. So one thing that's going to come with DD5 is there's going to be a level cap increase. You can expect, let's say, level 85, for example. You can expect that there'll be another tier of gear that's going to be required along with that. And what that generally means is that you need to save up gear for that. So, for example, if you look and see where I'm at with gear, for example, let's say we go to a character, like Jubilee. We could say, for mutant gear, I have these completed pieces. I have all of these stocked up. If you go to these catalysts, I've got those stocked up. If you go to the SBCs, I have those stocked up. So I've been just stocking up and farming this stuff. You can't buy. To buy this is like, the idea, people might be thinking, I'll just, if you're whaling out, you're going to buy this stuff. No, the offers for the orange gear are ridiculous at this game. You could never even buy enough. Even if you bought every offer, they sell you, 100 at a time, 20 at a time, when you need thousands for characters. So you just have to be farming all the time, getting core energy refreshes, doing all of that every day, just focusing on farming orange gear. And the orange gear that you're going to want to be focused on are the things like the SBCs that I just showed you a minute ago. You're going to want to focus on these catalysts, the damage catalyst, the focus catalyst, any catalyst that you're low on, but also these origin pieces for each one of the origins. Now, you may say, well, okay, Philosopher, I want to start bringing up the characters that I'm going to take into DD5. Well, we don't know at this point which characters will be best for DD5. We don't know exactly what the layout of DD5 is going to be. So what I would just say is, I would plan carefully. The focus should just be on hoarding resources and having the resources you need to get through, as opposed to focusing on a particular character at this point in time. That would be my advice to you on that. Get the resources you need so that you can bring up any character. Right now, I'm in a situation, because I have so many resources, that I could just click on this button and bring up Black Bolt, or, bring up, Jubilee or whatever at any time. Whatever I want to do or need to do for DD5, I could do because I have the resources, right? Obviously, the point of this is not to show off resources at a flex. It's to help you understand the mindset that you want to be in with whatever resources you have. Now, How much you focus on DD5, in my opinion, depends on where you're at in the game. And part of that is whether you're free to play, spending, and that sort of thing. And here's what I mean. There's going to be a unique that is going to be required for Gear Tier 16. And that unique is usually released in here, right? Here they are here, for example, for Gear Tier 15. And right now it says ×4. You get 4 of them for your 1400. Let me tell you, it wasn't like this when I was going through DD4. I was one of the first people to complete DD4 back when I had like 7. I started, I think, with 7.8 million TCP entering DD4. And I will tell you right now, you were getting far fewer than 4 for this. And it was, and a lot of times, frankly, you ended up relying on, random pulls from these orbs. So all I will say is, focus. If you really are trying to get in super early, you have to store up these. And as you could tell, I haven't spent these since I completed DD4. I've bought every offer where I could get war credits. Just been stocking this crap up so that I can try to race to be the first one instead of coming in fourth like I did last time. Well, to race like that, you have to be wailing out, but you also have to be somebody who is far enough with your roster where you're not sacrificing the good of your roster in order to do it. Well, for me, this is kind of like the main fun sort of things I do in the game are like racing for the new content. But like, if you're free to play, you need to focus on getting characters, right? I mean, long shots in here. Bishop just got put in here. There's all these important characters that are in the War Store. And for most players, this is an important place to get shards. So I think, whether or not to focus on saving your war currency, to me, depends on whether you're a spender in the game, how long you've been playing. Some free-to-play players have been playing this game since launch or since beta. Well, those players maybe can afford to stock some war currency away, but even there, they're probably trying to get their bishop up up in stars or something like that. So, I do think that whether you save this up really depends on the player. Now, I have had people ask me, "Well, wait, Philosopher, do you just store up energy?" I've heard of people storing up energy, and the short answer is yes. There are people who store up energy. So the people that I am generally competing with to like race in DD5 are not the people where I'm at, okay, in collection power. They're these people up here who've got, 7-8 million more TCP than I do. Well, these people, yes, they're saving their energy because they have nothing left to upgrade. Every single character is gear tier 13, 14, whatever. Those people have nothing left to do in the game. So yeah, they just store up their energy. Why? Well, what they do is if they just buy energy, core energy refreshes here, and only spend energy enough to get raid keys for their alliance, all you need to do each day is spend 600, get your 600 keys. Then they just store up all the energy and then they can, boom, hit level 85 right away. I didn't do that last time for DD4, so I was behind everyone at the start, but I ended up getting in 4th place anyway. For me, I'm not at that spot. I mean, I know people think I have a big roster if you're watching this on YouTube, but I really don't compared to those kind of folks. So I still have things I want to upgrade and things I want to do. I don't want to lose out on all the free energy I'm getting. And I think my advice to you is if you're asking the question of whether you should store up energy, the answer is almost certainly no, because you're losing out on all the free ticks of energy that you get all day long. Every, so many minutes you get a free point of energy. So you lose out on all of that by storing energy up. So I don't really think you should do that. I think for most players, unless you're spending a ton of money, it doesn't make sense to try to do this like race thing in the beginning. And frankly, the part of the issue with the race too, and I'll say this as somebody who was the first, one of the first ones going in, one of the, whatever, I was maybe 8th or something going in 7th. I don't remember now. Is you don't have any idea what works and what doesn't work. In other words, there's no infographics, there's no guide, there's no kill order, there's no nothing when you first enter. You're trying to figure out what works, and I'll tell you, my first team was not ideal. I brought in Captain America in the beginning. I brought in Black Widow and so forth. And the reason I did that at the time was trying to figure out what was cheap because it was so hard to get those uniques, and Black Widow only cost 36 skill uniques at that time. That was, important consideration because we had so few of those uniques. So I hadn't saved up as much war currency as some of the people who are racing. So I really think that, that's what we do when we're racing. We kind of take gambles, take risks. I know for me at the time, I had stored up this massive stash. I hadn't even spent my DD3 rewards, and I used it on that stuff. And that I was willing to accept that loss from my account. But generally speaking, the most efficient way to do it, if you don't have super high resources, or if racing isn't important to you, is hold on a little bit, see what's working for other people, and then go in a little bit later, and focus on the characters that work. The other thing I would say too is, focusing on characters that help you elsewhere, of course, has value that goes beyond that. You can afford, if you have everything all geared up, you can afford to just upgrade whatever characters will get you through for a race. But, upgrading a cheap character, I upgraded characters that still have no value for me. For example, I upgraded Merc Lieutenant, where is that guy, to gear tier 15 for the race. And, that's, he's on war defense or whatever, but I did that because he was cheap and, still not all that valuable, right? He's not the most important one in Mercs. That would be Taskmaster. He's not even second most important or third most. He's somewhere in that list, but he dies so quickly even at gear tier 15. So all I would just say is, think about that cost. If gearing up characters that don't matter as much are important to you, then go ahead and gear them. But for me, I will say I was willing to do the race and happy to do the race and enjoyed it. It was one of the most fun things I've done in MSF. And when I walk away from MSF some days, I will look back at that DD4 race and enjoy it. And I'm sure I will enjoy the DD5 race. But don't focus on racing. Focus on what the right plan is for your account based on the resources you're at, where you're at in the game, and what your goals are. All right? If you like this video, smash that like button, subscribe to this channel, check out my Twitch stream, that's linked below. If you have comments, put them below as well. I generally try to read the comments. And also check out my Discord. I always try to look there every day and look for your comments. Your ideas help make my content better.